Could it be made of aisles of tire-crushed glass, aisles of tiny Greek restaurants off highways in the UP, aisles of the memory of wanting? Additionally, let there be aisles of the now wanting, the past tense feeling somewhat smutted, the present tense alive and burning like magnolia-scented candles and black votives. Oh, to offer this up, to also digest. Motel. I wake you stone, love this man. Charles Olson, The Distances. After you set your button down on the bed for me and I rose to my knees to kiss you, after we made love, we watched a movie about Gandhi and ate pizza in bed. Without your glasses on, you thought Gandhi was Hitler. Half blind, I wondered what I looked like to you. I pointed this out. The last time I tried to turn you on, you were watching Rosemary's Baby. The fan running in the bathroom still, the light also on, the way our shoes rested on the floor. Daydream, like Cleopatra. They found you in a roadside wetland with a golden choker on your neck, like you thought you were the masculine form of Cleopatra. They found your body, a gash running through your tattoo of the Virgin Mary. You murmured, Isis, Isis, Isis as protector maybe. Your veins later turned into a siphon, which then became the city's water processing plant. There was a sore on your lip to boot, and Johnny Cash was playing from the car speaker. Also, there was a fortune cookie on the dashboard that said, love so hard you explode or something. And how can that be inspirational? I mean, I'd rather not explode. When I heard my grandfather was dying, I was on the telephone with my mom, slammed my fist onto a fake wood desk. Later, I read about intuition. Golden choker, divine and constricting and made of the sun. I want to tell you stories, but they're already myths. For instance, once I swam in the lake at 10 p.m., the end of July. I wore only my red bra, black shorts, and the waves lulled, and the moon was full like a tongue curled up. They found your body, your ribs were pushed into a lung, half of you crushed, other half not so much. I bought my first pair of black lace underwear the day before my grandfather's funeral. We sang a song, and he will raise you up on eagle's wings, bear you on the breath of dawn. I'm scared you're going to die, so I wrote this. Nothing is wrong with you, but I wrote this anyway. Sometimes thinking about loss is simple enough to entertain a bored mind. We could do this if you want. Imagine it, a cinematic voiceover. We ride into Savannah, Georgia on a woolly mammoth, and because of the wind, the Spanish moss slinks away from the trees and becomes my hair, and you run your fingers through the moss and kiss it, and it is true now, and it is yours now. Mid-apple bite, I'll say to you, I looked up Cleopatra on Google once, and Elizabeth Taylor was listed as something people also search for. And there was this black and white portrait of her. She wore a crown with a pearl pendant drop that went down the center of her forehead, and her eyes were lifted up and her mouth light and open. See also a look of gentle scorn. I was at a museum in Milwaukee or Chicago when I was in elementary school, and there was a painting of Cleopatra with a cobra, and there was a sign mounted on the wall talking about how she killed herself by having the snake bite her breast. I'm not sure how much of this is true, but I'd surely rather die more suddenly. Not like a car crash with Johnny Cash and golden chokers and the wetland turf for one to sink in. Mind, a half-spoken sentiment while fast asleep, evade the lure of this non-existent loss. And still, the above sentiment ignored, golden choker, how does it survive the crash and not the body? If I could be anyone, I would be Napoleon Bonaparte and I'd marry Cleopatra. Power and seduction, Egypt and France, we could boat to Jerusalem, sing, Lord, prepare me to be a sanctuary, pure and holy. Solomon's Song of Songs adapted for bed, the bed's subsequent locations. Let him kiss me with the kisses of his mouth. A bed of daisies, the sand on this floor, the feeder's linoleum, the sand on this floor, the sand still in the tub after I drain it. Dark am I, yet lovely. A pile of unwashed laundry covered in the dirt from this floor, a bedroom wall covered in invisible ink, the air between a jump and landing, the theater's linoleum. My beloved to me is you, a sachet of myrrh resting between my breasts, a hospital bed, the Dead Sea, or straddle the top of the day, a cluster of henna blossoms from the vineyards of Ein Gedi, unwashed laundry on our heads like turbans. Love you more than wine, more than adoration, more than the gratifying sweat of post-performance catharsis. Oh, this verdant bed, these dove-like eyes. I am Lily of the Valley, Cleopatra, and Britney Spears in the 90s. For this is conquest at its finest, more than anything, the muscles between thigh and ass, the drone of fluorescent lights and a pas de deux. Jesus, Palm Sunday, Jesus on an ass, your hand rising up the back of my thigh. Blacksmiths trudging up mountains, gear in hand, and greenhouses at the tops of the mountains, and the blacksmiths welding iron wedding rings and placing them at the bases of ferns. And this is Black Mountain. And the blacksmiths stop for cold water, and the blacksmiths drink the cold water, and also run hoses through the gasoline, and their wives wear gasoline for perfume, and their wives sing Sunhouse into the fire. And when the blacksmiths water the sunflowers, they think of Bethlehem. And when they water the bleeding hearts, they think of Nazareth. And when they water the lilies, they think of Samaria. And when they water the jasmines, it's for sphinxes aflame. Once in New Orleans, I got my palm read. This is the palm reader. Her name is Jade. In the chapbook, there's a photo of her. She had red lacquered nails and was in her 50s. She said I'd have two passionate loves. You, trying to justify that we'd be eternal, said maybe literature is your second love. I don't know. Regardless, my 4th grade class went to this place called River Bend once, and I had to pee. So I asked the lady who worked there if I could, and she said all will be revealed in time. So I guess I could say the same to you. Gazeli Nevasa Ba, 1934. The bellmouth spillways, vaginal and Homeric, hole in the water, wholly preserving the untouched posterior. Nuns worldwide bending under the weight of teens undressed, nuns singing the hour of death, monks delighted by an uncovered breast, and the Pope thinking of impregnation, damnation. These ready or nots and notably young, on boats and beds, utter in unison, Aman Yallah, Aman Yallah. On Judgment Day, the nuns, monks, and popes will mark in tallies the times they've touched themselves, feeble or exalted, while God, spreading his legs, relentlessly moans, "Sing in me, muse, and tell me the story of the black earth and the ripened fruit." Thank you.